You are now tuned in to Papi Chulo Radio, your web portal for the best in pop culture news and interviews.
Get away from her, you bitch!
This is a Papi Chulo Radio special announcement. PapiChuloRadio.com is currently looking to expand its web presence, and we're looking for your help. If you're a fan of Papi Chulo Radio and its signature series, please visit GoFundMe.com/PapiChuloRadio and help us with our campaign. Every dollar amount donated will be improving the Papi Chulo Radio experience and making it more interactive and user-friendly. We thank you in advance for your support. This has been a Papi Chulo Radio special announcement. We now return you to our regularly scheduled programming. The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Summer Camp, a PapiChuloRadio.com and iTunes exclusive. Papi Chulo Radio, pop culture on demand. I'm your host and camp director, Maurice Gatewood. Tonight on Summer Camp, we're going to explore some of Hollywood's campiest flicks, cult classic motion pictures, and fan favorite films. Please welcome my co-host, the lyricist himself, the hip-hop legend, and our assistant director, Mr. Dead Lee.
So I got my switchblade. Don't mess with me.
Ooh, Aza. All right. Our residential director of Residential Life, the man from the future, Legionnaire.
Hey, you got the whole sum of it in, and dancing ain't fucking.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth. And our first aid director, the man with the voice. The man with the golden voice. Damian Nova, what's up?
Hey, just to let you know, everybody got AIDS and shit.
Yeah, that's one of the age jokes. That's great, yeah. And our activity leader, the artist formerly and presently known as Vanetta Berry. What's going on?
Very excited about this movie, guys.
Yes!
And serving it up hot and spicy. Our head chef, Derek Anthony.
On the menu tonight, hamburgers, burritos, brown rice, and vegetables.
You know, I was going to ask you, Derek. I was going to ask you, Derek. It must be weird not having somebody come on you.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
It must be weird not having somebody come on you.
It is. But you know, I make it through
because your cooking is so good.
And it saves on my
so serve it up so hot. All right, before we begin, here's one of our campers on our PA system with a few announcements on how you can interact with us via social media.
Thank you for the intro, and sorry for the microphone feedback. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PCR Summercamp. Follow us on Tumblr, summercamp-pcr.tumblr.com. Follow Papi Chulo Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and YouTube at Papi Chulo Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@poppychularadio.com. Help support Poppy Chula Radio financially by visiting GoFundMe.com/PoppyChulaRadio. Help support Poppy Chula Radio financially by visiting GoFundMe.com/PoppyChulaRadio. Are you interested in joining the Poppy Chula Radio team as an on-air personality or blog contributor? Email talent@poppychularadio.com. Binge listen to your favorite Poppy Chula Radio programs by visiting poppychularadio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through iTunes. Just search for Poppy Chula Radio Summer Camp and subscribe. Now, grab some popcorn and some snacks. It's time for your feature presentation. Back to you, camp counselors. Oh, not again. Sorry for the feedback.
Thank you. All right, it's time to fire up the film projector so that we can discuss 1995's Showgirls. Here's the official synopsis of the film. It's Vegas, baby, where the dreams and desires to make it big are as sharp as a stiletto heel. Enter Nomi, a girl with the looks and drive to devour the glitz and glamour whole. When she catches the eye of Crystal, the main attraction at the Stardust stage show, Nomi is on the brink of realizing her dreams. But as she bumps and grinds her way to the top, Nomi realizes that there is room for only one starlet on the marquee, and that either she or Crystal will have to take a fall.
Yay!
I kind of like that synopsis. It had like typos in it, so I was trying to adjust for the typos and then make my own typos. But anyway, all right. So as usual, let's go down the list, and I'm going to ask who has seen this movie before. Let's start with you, Legionnaire.
Unfortunately, I have seen this movie before.
Okay, so we know what to expect from him tonight. Deadly, have you seen this movie?
This is probably like my fifth time. It's like them guilty pleasures. You know, it's so bad it's good kind of thing. You know, it's watching a car wreck, but you can't take your eyes off of it kind of thing.
Okay, Damien.
Yes, I've seen this.
Okay.
Okay.
Derek.
I had managed to go, 20 years without ever watching this movie before. And honestly, I feel that was long enough.
And the whole managed to go part of it kind of tells you what the reaction is. And last and certainly not least, Vanetta. Had you seen this before?
I had. And I had.
Okay. All right. So, all my questions are going to go to Deadly tonight.
Yeah, okay.
And the rest of you, just want to take notes. And,
I'm excited. I'm excited about my rewatching.
I saw it back in the day and hadn't revisited it since. And surprisingly enough, is whatever this movie is, as flawed or whatever it is, certain parts were like vivid, and then certain parts I was just like, I just don't remember that at all. So anyway, let's talk to our resident Vegas resident, Deadly.
Oh, that's right.
Did it bring it? Yeah, you remember where you live? Unless you don't want me putting that out there, because I know you got a lot.
No, it's good. You know, I'm kind of new to Vegas, so it was kind of fun because I'm like, oh, this is this me. I'm new to the town. I could be a showgirl, and
I was. I've seen your videos. You don't look like a girl at all. Okay.
But does he shows is the question.
This brother is not giving you girliness. So,
Now, I love that vibe though. The whole, the whole excitement of Vegas, kind of starting new. But the movie, the first 5 minutes might be the worst opening 5 minutes in cinematic history. I mean, Elizabeth Berkley, her acting, was so bad. And I'm an actor and hate judging other actors, but it was so bad and over the top. But I don't totally blame her. And I was just reading an article about this too. They said blame the director, and I do blame him, because one of my first movies I did, I came in at 150%. They always say come in really high, go overboard. And that's what I did. And then the director can bring you down. Obviously, this director just let her go crazy. And I blame him. He should have brought her down. Girl, relax. When she starts throwing out that switchblade and she was in that truck throwing herself around in that suitcase. Oh my God! I was like, "What the heck?"
Oh, that was horrible.
I just need to say this: being a child of the '80s and having watched this girl, I felt that they saw her do a very special episode of Saved by the Bell, where her character got hooked on the caffeine pills.
Yes.
And was singing, I'm so excited, and they told her, do that for the whole movie. Be that person for the whole movie.
Except with no clothes on. Yes. So,
Tits!
Actually, I hadn't planned on getting this how bad the acting was. I was more like trying to set the local color, like Vegas. I was in Vegas last month.
But this is old Vegas though. You got to realize that Vegas from then, even then, it's changed. Like, is it the Riviera or Riviera or whatever that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even there anymore. And so, I mean, it had a cool little style to it, but Vegas is so much more not as grimy even as I'd say then. I mean, downtown used to be grimy, but it's even kind of cleaned up.
It's more touristy. It's very touristy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was down there zip lining and doing all that kind of stuff, and it was very a lot more sort of sanitary. You do see a little bit of methiness. It is a little it's not glamorous. You know what I'm saying? It's not glamorous really outside of the, what I mean? You see a lot of worlds coming together there. I don't know how well they really portrayed. I mean, I'm not just on a scale of 1 to 10 how realistic it was. I don't think anything in this movie was. Maybe the cutthroat attitudes of performers, because most of us in this discussion are either performers or artists, or have had something to do with either writing, performing, in some. So I mean, we've all experienced that kind of cutthroat attitude. So I mean, did any of that kind of ring true for anyone?
Go ahead, Legionnaire.
No.
Come on, there was a desperation there that I felt. Like, you could feel the artist, her. She wanted it so bad. Come on, you can feel that. You could feel that. Just her, she wanted it bad. You could feel that.
Okay.
Come on, man.
No, I'm not saying the way it was executed, Legionnaire. I mean, but can you identify
the energy?
But I can definitely identify with having to deal with other violinists, and just that kind of. Sometimes you get, you just get that venom from people.
I have been doing plays on and off since I was a teenager. And I guess maybe I just got lucky that whenever I was in a group of people, it was all about the work that we were putting out, and nobody was trying to necessarily step on anybody else. You know, because at the end of the day, it was about all of us looking good.
That's funny. That's funny.
So yeah, nobody in anything I was in, nobody got poisoned so that their understudy could work. Nobody got pushed down no stairs. Nobody got balls thrown underneath them or in their face or anywhere else. Well, they got balls. So that was a whole different thing. That had nothing to do with it.
Well, it does a little bit.
I have definitely experienced it, and it never to someone like actually physically trying to harm me, but you know, it's just it's a very political thing. Now, I do think sometimes there are some cultural things going into it. I'll put it that way. But you know, I definitely have experienced it. So let's talk a little bit about the cast. Before this movie, had anyone ever heard of Gina? Was it Gina Gershon?
Gina Gershon.
Come on, that's my girl.
But had you heard of her before this movie?
Yeah.
In what?
Yeah. She was in Bound. I think Bound was before this. Am I right, Legionnaire?
I think so. I believe so.
Yeah, well, I saw her in Bound. If you ain't seen Bound, you got to see that's a lesbian drama.
That's a great film.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
well, y'all should really picture.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah.
You know, but my problem, my thing with her performance in this movie is.
No, actually, Bound was after Showgirls.
Oh, so it was her.
Oh, was it?
So everybody else worked, but the lead after Showgirls. It's only killed one person's career.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
according to her, it was by choice. Like she was like, I don't know. I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, girl, okay, well, look, you, no worries. You don't have to worry about ever trying to do anything else because your resume is.
And we have decided to help you with that.
Right, yeah.
We have decided to respect your decision.
Right.
we will sign off on that. So, Gina Gershon, the thing is, like, you will hear actors, and those of you who have acted can support me or deny this. That sometimes the people you are in the scene with will either elevate your acting or it will bring you down. And the funny thing with Gina Gershon is, like, you can tell that she can act, but then she would get in the scenes with her, and it was just like, girl, you gotta give me something.
The other people in the, and I know this is more true for stage, maybe necessarily than film. You'd have to get something. The more someone gives you their energy, the more you can return that energy back.
Yeah, chemistry.
And if you are on stage or on, doing a scene, and you are expecting to have a dialogue with somebody, a realistic dialogue, and this person is a taupe wall, that can affect you. That can throw you.
Because didn't you think the scenes with Gina Gershon and Kyle MacLachlan were fine?
They had a chemistry.
Right. Well, they could act. I don't know about chemistry. They could act. They knew how to give you something. But the scenes with her and Naomi, with Crystal and Naomi, would sit there and stare at each other. And I'm like, is that supposed to be sexy? What's happening there?
Yeah. How does it feel to have good, nice tits? Okay, girl. I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that question. What do you mean? Like, the writing has a lot to do with it, though. Like, the writing. Oh, my God. The writing. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
This was a bad script. It was a the script.
The script could have been overcome if she weren't so herky-jerky.
Right.
I was just like, I kept trying to imagine.
I don't know, when she was like, I'm on my period. See, check. Girl. like that's not her acting. That's writing.
Then that's just
right.
That whole scene was just stupid.
And then he checked.
Right.
I still love vagina. I love vagina. And there is nothing that is going to make me put my hand down a woman's drawers after she tells me I'm on my period. Nothing. There is no way in fucking hell I'm going to put my hand down there and check to see if is she constantly bleeding? Is that how that works? Do you just constantly bleed? So she just, anytime you can say, oh, I'm on my period, check. Oh, you can just check and there's some blood. Okay. I mean, are you, it's just, I don't have a vagina. I don't know how that works all the time. Okay. I'm not a gynecologist.
That's not how it works.
I didn't think so. So,
as a vagina wielding person on this call, that is not the way it works.
I didn't think so. So, things like that, like even scenes that she's not in are poorly written, like for some of the best actors in this film. So, it's the writing and the directing, but I mean, I'm sorry, but that girl can't act. She couldn't act on Saved by the Bell. She can't act in this.
That's why it's a cult favorite. That's why it's a cult favorite, though. It's so bad, it's good.
I think it's a cult
favorite. I
disagree with that. I don't think it's bad enough to be good. I think it's awful, but I don't think it's bad in the kind of
it's
way.
A special level of awful, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a cult classic because it's that girl from Saved by the Bell, and she's running around with no clothes on. I think it's more a classic because of that. Jesse Spano is hoeing around Vegas.
Right.
Yeah. This was her trying to be adult.
So much of her body and then not really see sex scenes. Like, we got all the full frontal. There was not really any sex. There was just a bunch of pelvic thrusting.
The pool scene.
That was
which is the best scene. It's the best scene in the movie. It's the best scene in the movie.
I don't know her.
She even oversold that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She don't love herself.
I was like, what the hell? It looked like dolls or something.
Yeah,
it looked like she was being attacked by a piranha.
Maybe that's what he called his penis.
She don't love herself.
It was like, okay, and one of the things that bothered me was, okay, there was enough in this movie to kind of get the message across that women were treated pretty shittily and pretty piss poor, and basically
cattle.
So did we need a rape scene to push that?
And that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, why did Molly have to get raped?
Right.
Why did that have to even happen?
And it came out of nowhere.
Right.
Out of nowhere. Nowhere.
I was, I'm thinking, okay, we already get that these women are treated like just like pieces of meat, and that they don't have any rights, basically, and just that other thing. I mean, do we really need that to put the punctuation at the end of the sentence? I was just like,
The director wants you to hate everyone in this movie, and he succeeds. He wants you to hate everyone, because I hated Molly, from when she saved her from in front of that car. It was like, oh, girl, just let her get hit. She didn't beat up your car.
You know what? She's stupid. And you should not save stupid people. That is intelligent design. She left her suitcase in this man's car that she just met, but she's supposed to be street smart.
Yeah,
exactly.
And she threw fries at you.
And
after
that
you fed her. After
and then invited her to stay at your house.
When she threw the food, I would have been like, "Oh no, this bitch is no, she's twisted." I'm not fucking. I would have been like, "Oh hell no,"
But see, you guys don't think that she kind of saw herself in Nomi? I thought that's what it was.
No,
she knew how hard it was to survive in that town, and so that's why she took her like under her wings.
Oh God, I hope not.
I know. See, guys, I love that part. I thought.
Her first night there, though.
No, Nomi and Molly, their relationship, if anything, the whole movie, I really like that. Like, just these two girls trying to make it in the city.
But Molly was working. She was fine. Yeah, she was.
She had a job.
She had a job and a place to live.
Right.
I get it. She was trying to pay it forward, but it's like, girl, you have a job. You're about to risk it with this fucking meth head. Like, please do something else with your existence. Like, and then you're gonna take her to work with you, and it's like, what?
Right.
Okay, you're. And then get mad with that. This is my job. Don't just talk to her like, well, you took her, you stupid hoe.
You knew she was unprofessional.
You know what I knew?
That
was
right.
Exactly.
You knew she was trifling when you rolled her up in there.
Oh dear.
Okay, y'all. Tell me this, and this might seem like a small petty point, but when she looked at that Versace dress in the window, and Molly said,
Versace.
and when Molly said, "I can make that," and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna
buy it."
I would have been like, "Bitch, where is your
like,
sewing
pay
machine?"
some rent.
Right.
I was like,
girl,
where
let's
is
go
your
back to
sewing
the
machine?
And then bought her fajitas. Like, let's celebrate your over-the-top purchase with me buying you food. What?
Burrito and fajitas.
As the food person, let me ask this question. Because I didn't see that girl work out once, but she was constantly shoving fatty food in her fatty face.
Okay, so I do have an answer for that. Okay. I used to strip. Okay.
Oh,
and you can pretty much, you're going to burn calories, especially back in the 90s. Like in the 90s, stripping, like, it ain't like now where all you got to do is shake your dinners. But back then, you had to like put on a show. That was one thing they did get right about this movie, is that the strip clubs were like choreographed and they had like hosts, and it was, you know what I'm saying? Like now, unless you're a dude and all you can do is, if you can do the splits, you have a job. But back then you had to do everything, and we burned a lot of calories stripping, and I ate a lot of bullshit. So I can sort of, because if her metabolism is I don't know how old she's supposed to be in this movie, because that's not really made clear. But if she's still in her 20s, I can see that working as a workout, because the way she was stripping, child, I was burning calories watching her strip. So,
well, I mean, in the rehearsal scenes were condensed. I mean, a lot of dancers were dancing for 8 hours, like 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So they would have to. They would have to eat a lot of carbohydrates.
Yeah, we carb loaded a lot.
Yeah. So, I'm going back to
brown rice.
What Vanetta said about pay some rent. When I asked about the dress, do you think that was Molly's subtle way of kind of being like, I can make that? Why don't you pay me that money?
Yeah. For this old basic ass Versace dress. It wasn't even, it was like Gianni was like, okay, this one. It was like,
right. It was
put that one in there.
It wasn't even like a fierce old cocktail gown or nothing.
No.
It was just like this basic. I was like, oh girl, really?
Yeah, that everyday Versace. Yeah.
It was with the buyer for that department store thought was chic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was definitely a Dillard's Versace dress back when Dillard's sold Versace. Like you can get that at Dillard's and wear that old dress and be like, ooh, you got on this old $250 Versace dress. Yes, okay.
So,
my God.
let's. Okay, so we touched on Molly. Good grief, where to start? Okay, so she had.
How about
this,
James? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I liked him.
Glenn Plummer. Yes, I did like him.
Mm-hmm.
He was nice. To
Why? Oh, well, yeah.
He didn't really do nothing.
Okay.
Right.
I was very sad because I was like, "Oh, Glenn Plummer's in this. Oh,
Right.
he's a dancer."
Right.
And that's it?
Clearly, somebody that has some talent. And
Right.
this is what he is.
And this is what you do with him.
Right.
Well, he's always made iffy choices.
That is true. That is true. I will say that he is a talented actor and performer who has not taken full advantage of his skills.
Yeah.
Or not been utilized.
He don't love himself either.
No, it's hashtag choices.
Choices.
Right, Derek?
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
Dewey Weber played Jeff. Jeff is the guy that picked her up at the beginning of the movie. Who had on more makeup? Dewey or Elizabeth?
That was weird. I was just like, "What is going on?"
He had this Lindsey Buckingham looking Adam Ant. I don't know if you people know who these people are. They're from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looked like. Parts of this movie struck me as very 80s. I'm like, it's 1995, y'all, and y'all still giving me 80s tea. You know, it was like his look was so. I don't know, and then try to make it like this cyclic kind of cinematic piece where it all comes back to where it started. I'm like, don't try to put art in it now.
It was an afterthought. They were like, "How do we end this? This has rambled on long enough.
Right.
Let's just put it back."
Rambled.
Rambled.
Is the best word. It's the best word for it. It is a ramble of, oh my God. And I guess they're trying to make him look like Elvis a little bit, trying to give him that old Elvis.
I thought that they were going for a very Elvis look.
Yeah, they were trying to make him look like Elvis, and her name. I remember when I first heard her name, I was like, that means something. Where is that from? And I remember reading the director's notes because I have the Blu-ray. But I was reading some director's notes. I was like, oh, that's stupid. Her name, Nomi Malone, is sort of a play on words. It's Know Me, I'm Alone.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. This movie was dead in the water. It was dead in the water.
Her name should have been You Don't Know Me.
Right.
Malone.
You don't know me.
So Angela Brockman played Annie, the angry black dancer.
Was she not a stereotype?
She was mad as hell.
Nothing but a stereotype.
I'm gonna ask you
so angry.
I'm gonna ask Vanetta this. At any point before she was injured, did you get the impression that she was the understudy for Crystal?
Not at all. It was not indicated at all. And then suddenly, now that she's on the floor, oh, my understudy. Y'all full of shit. Y'all.
Where did that come from?
You didn't even see her in the production numbers.
They just needed
not till she was getting ready to die. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just needed to have more drama. It's ridiculous.
But here's so this is my thing. The one part she had every right to be angry about, I feel.
With the kids?
The part where that girl brought her kids backstage.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
She had I'm trying to
all
get
kinds of
ready.
inappropriate.
I am trying to get ready. There's tit and ass everywhere. Your child is a snowflake. Mommy, she's saying bad words and I'm crying. Bitch, shut up. I'm trying to prepare to go on stage. I ain't got this kind of time.
And the
I don't
thing
think
is, I think they really wanted to cast. They really wanted to cast that other character as black, but they probably didn't want to put too many black girls in that movie.
Well, if you
The one
know,
with the braids.
all the black people in the movie are kind of like utility characters. They don't actually do much.
What are you
That's
talking
the
about?
90s.
Come on, Molly.
Well, they're
And
there.
James, those were main characters.
There to save her. Molly was there to put her in a place. We knew what Molly's dream was, but we never actually got to see what happened with Molly's dream because Molly wound up in the hospital bed where she
Well,
got raped.
that's the thing. It's just like those of us who are comic book nerds know that they use black characters to create dramatic conflict for white characters. Like they injure them, or they kill them, or if they don't
we save them.
Not just comic.
That's it.
We
That's
saved
it,
them.
girl. They saved them. Those were those two characters.
Right.
Molly
Well,
and
they-
James.
Did he save
her?
Mhm.
They're there to be, they're there to be a catalyst for someone else's heroics or someone else's, drama. And I've just felt like, and I'm sure Angela Brockman was told to act angry. But it's just so.
And I'm sorry, but how about this? When she introduced Molly to Andrew Carver, she knew he was an asshole when he first spoke to her and was grabbing her ass.
Thank you.
And she introduced her to him anyway and left her alone with him. Come on now.
She has
Girl,
broken
come on.
so many codes there because there is no way I'm introducing my friend to a guy who I already have a skeevy feeling about, and I'm just going to be like, oh, come on, baby, let's go home so we can go have sex. I'd have been like, hold on. I need to make sure she's good because she was mad at me earlier. I need to make sure everything is good. That guy seems a little skeevy. Whatever. No way.
Then had the nerve to go in there and walk in his hotel like Catwoman, and and she's gonna now you're gonna kick his ass. Okay, with your titties out, with your titties out, in these high heel boots, like you, like
Well, you pull
super
that
stripper.
It's like, girl.
Right. But, and then the two bodyguards, the one bodyguard that was involved in it.
The useless bodyguard.
Well, they were both. Well, no, he had the.
They were raping guards.
Right.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm just assuming that they cut the scene or they wanted to imply that, it was a group thing. But what she didn't make up not even a fraction of what happened to. I thought she was going to slice his piece off. The first time I saw the movie.
She could have at least, given him a taste of his own medicine. You just kick his face in.
Well,
you gotta switch.
It's not. I spit on your grave.
Why did she? This was what was this was like after. This was after.
Entry.
Yeah, she just kicked him to sleep.
Right.
Right.
She should have barbatized him.
Yeah.
Or put that heel to good use.
Oh, not bob it. That is so topical.
It's around the same time.
Yeah.
This is true. This is. Yeah.
I don't know. There was so much
bad.
What it was editing and
plot
that didn't go anywhere, and I agree with Vanetta when she said, it was, even if with a bad script, I think they could have muscled it through with better performances. I've seen some good performances with some not so great writing.
Yeah,
even with
I don't know.
With their facial expression, like most movies that are out now are not written the way they, it's not that intricate kind of writing you would get back in the day, you know.
Well, it's no Inception, but it's like it's just, I don't know. It's just the writing is such a special level of bad that it's. I don't know. I don't know that Meryl Streep could have made this movie work. It is.
I think they put. I mean, because look at a movie that came out much before it, and it was another Flashdance. Flashdance was a very simple movie.
Yes, but Flashdance was done much better than that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the story was better.
But it was a very simple story. I think they basically tried to do like an updated version of a Flashdance. It was the same sort of formula, but then they said, we're going to make it sexier. We're going to do this, and it's going to be glitz and glamour, and it's going to be sexy. But, I mean, there were scenes that I was just like, okay, this is supposed to be her Flashdance moment. And mind you, Flashdance was well acted, but and Jennifer Beal was very likable, but she wasn't giving you Meryl Streep, level acting either. It's just that it was someone who was cast well and fit the part.
She also didn't have a ton of lines,
and she didn't do most of the dancing.
Yeah, she didn't do any.
I mean, she had to do sort of cutaways and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't bother me as much.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me as much as what I watched, which seemed like for hours on the screen. Right.
You didn't think Naomi danced good, at least in the stripping part? I liked it.
No, I thought all of her dancing looked
especially her private dance.
Oh God,
her private dance.
Yeah, Elizabeth Berkley moves, baby. That thing moves.
Yeah, she moved.
She moved like a stripper.
I wonder if her background was in dancing before she was.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, she has ballet training. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's had ballet training, so the dancing from her was at least believable in terms of what she had to do for the role. So yeah, I actually didn't have a problem with her dancing. It was like,
I didn't either.
She did,
but she can move.
She did her own stunts.
I thought she was more convincing as a dancer than Gina Gershon was.
Oh no, she just stood there and looked pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She arched her back a lot and pushed her tits out a lot.
It gave you teeth of death, babe.
Oh my God, those caps. Oh God.
Those cappers.
So I have a question.
Yes.
If Elizabeth Berkley has a background in like classical dance, why was she so aggressive with it? It just looked painful. Like she was always about to slap somebody, and it was like, it was noisy. How is dance that noisy? I know lots of dancers, and it's not that noisy. Like, what is that?
That was the what's the name of that? Oh my God, I get Fame. That was the Fame in her, the Debbie Allen trying to break free. It's just like, oh, she's going to throw something out. I don't know what it is yet, but she's going to throw.
I was expecting a kitty to fall out.
Right.
So, okay, let's talk about the production numbers. I didn't think they were all that. The only one I liked was
the biker one.
Was the
biker one, yes.
Yeah, was the bike one, only because the guys sort of were dancing like guys, like all the other ones. It was just like, why do they need the guys on stage if they're gonna sort of look the same? It was sort of, I don't know. I didn't like the production numbers, and except for the one with the biker with the harnesses and what have you. But
I wish we could take a time machine back to the 90s in Las Vegas, because that's sort of how they looked.
That's how it was.
Yeah. They were pretty 5, 6, 7, 8. There was nothing fantastic or visually. I mean, it was supposed to be visually arresting, you know, but I think the production value, one, but two, is pretty on the nose about the way those shows looked back then. Especially in the, what was that, like the bar area where that show was being like, it was like they made, oh, we can bring in Paul Abdul and Suzanne Summers, but we got it. No, you couldn't have. No, you couldn't have.
No, you could not have.
No, but the thing is, they didn't
especially in 1995, baby.
They didn't even say Suzanne Summers. They said Suzanne. Like,
right.
Like everybody was supposed to know who they were. Like Suzanne Summers, even at that point, Suzanne Summers was a little long in the tooth to be doing that.
And not dancing with her titties out. Not dancing with her titties out.
Right.
You know, Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson would not have been doing that. You know, I'm like, please. Oh,
they could have got pebbles.
Remember he said
I'm a Mercedes boy.
Maybe we can get Latoya. No. We can get Latoya. I'm like, Latoya who?
Latoya Jackson is not built for all of that. Thank you and good night.
Well, she might have been getting built for all of that. She had
she was in the process.
Did she have a show for a hot minute?
Okay,
she did. It was in Vegas.
She did. She did. Yeah,
getting beat up by her man.
Yeah, she did have a show in Vegas. Yeah.
She was a cold-hearted snake.
Oh wow!
That would have been a show.
This should have been a special. This should have been a special edition of summer camp. Because we are not going to get through all.
There's so much to talk about. There's so much.
We haven't even talked about Mama.
Okay, so let's talk about the club where she first worked.
Mama Bazoom.
Cheetah.
Cheetah. That jumped out of there.
She was a mess.
She was a hot.
She was both the best and worst thing in this movie. Like I don't know how she pulled that off, but she was like her jokes didn't really land and they didn't really make much sense. It was all like self-deprecation, and then it was like, but who are you insulting the man about your vagina not being able to be found under all those
exactly.
Because he was like, even his face looked like, am I supposed to be insulted by what you're saying?
Right, because you're telling me that you're
grateful,
so fat and wrinkly that I can't find your stuff.
Right.
How does that hurt my feelings?
Right. But she was great. She was great. I loved her. Like, I loved her part. I loved her role. I thought it was a breath of fresh air amid all the bleakness in this movie, because this movie is very bleak.
It was clearly intentionally funny.
Yeah. So
that's
like
the thing. She was funny on purpose, as opposed to all the other stuff that was funny by accident.
But the things that she was saying that was supposed to be funny weren't funny. It was just that she was funny,
right?
But her lines weren't funny, which. Like, you look as good as a 10-inch dick. What? How do you?
But
please unpack that for me. I need you to unpack that for me, ma'am.
She said you look as good as a 10. You look better than a 10-inch dick. I was just like, okay.
I need her to unpack that.
It's like, okay, girl, help me with that imagery. What?
Right. So she looks like a penis. What's happening?
Right. What are you saying?
Do you not like 10-inch dicks? Do you like 10-inch dicks?
Right.
Long, hard, mushroom head. What? Huh?
Right.
Is she an uncut 10-inch dick?
Is she curved?
Untouched?
Is she unplugged?
Lord.
Some people think uncut is pretty. Some people don't. I mean, you gotta be more specific, lady.
You really do. You really do. She looks as good as a big, black, veiny, uncut, purple-headed, curved dick. Like, you gotta say...
That's very, very specific.
You gotta say it all.
I'm like, okay, I got that picture. Yes, that is very beautiful.
Because what is beautiful to you as far as a 10-inch dick is? Because there are some ugly ass 10-inch dicks out there. So what are you? And there are a lot of 10-inch dicks that can't get hard or stay hard. So are you calling her a flaccid, white 10-inch, a hairy one with glitter on it? I'm so confused.
So her boss at the club, who played Robert. What did you think of his character?
I enjoyed him. I don't know why I enjoyed him. I think he was the most honest.
Right. He was convincingly creepy.
Yeah, he was. He was like, look, you'll work longer if you suck my dick.
Right.
Oh,
I can appreciate that.
And that has been said in corporate America, all the way down to that was basically.
I've been told that.
That was
if I can get away with that at my in my business. Like, hey, if you really want to get the most gigs, you'll go down on me every day. I don't think that would really fly right. It doesn't fly, and it was really bizarre and awkward. Like, why would he even? So, is that the way it works in strip clubs?
I've heard it.
Really?
I've heard it. Like back when I was twirling, I did hear a couple of owners like, oh well, you know what, I'll cut you a deal on your tips tonight if you suck my dick, and then you can go home.
But think about tips.
So he only wanted just a tip.
Sounds so confused.
When he told her, as I said at the beginning, when he told her it must be weird not having people come on you.
Right.
I was just like, that's the level of
it's like,
it was so sincere, though. It was so sincere.
What are you doing now?
It was so sincere. Yeah. No, he wasn't, though. I feel like it was really sincere. Like, he was like, oh, it must be weird not having people come on you. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, it was almost really like he was.
Don't you miss that?
That was his sweetness. Yeah, that was him being sweet. That was. I liked him. He's like my favorite character in the movie. Like,
well, my favorite character is the HR lady. Her hair was the Latino woman that was in the HR. Her hair was just like so done. I was just like, you do that shit before you come to work? Like, how long does it take to get? She was just so pulled together. I liked her. She was one of my favorite characters. She was just like, and where were you born? And she was like looking at her like, bitch, I know you're lying, But I looked at that. I was like, God dang, her there is not a hair out of place.
Yeah, she was also the only Hispanic in this movie in Las Vegas, which is
right.
Crazy.
Right. Right.
Huh?
Right. It was that part of it was interesting too, but
you had the white girl with the braids.
Maybe what was that? Yeah, and then her kids look like they were from Little House on the Prairie. That's what I think.
Yeah. They look like her kids.
That showed her whiteness.
I'm sorry, she would have had some.
They wanted her to look ethnic.
And again,
yeah, she was real Jane Child about the head. I mean, it was
right. Welcome to the real world.
All right, don't want to fall in love, baby.
Fall in love.
But the thing is, even if she didn't have like
Jane Child is a friend. Let me shut up.
Her kids would have had more flavor. Even if they weren't biracial or what have you, they would have had more flavor than that. I'm sorry. Your mom.
Yeah. Maybe they're being raised by their dad. Maybe that's and they were just visiting mom on the job, and dad is uber white.
Should have a babysitter.
Yeah.
So she was supposed to be a single mom. That's what that whole thing was about.
Mom, she said the F word. It's like, okay. Like you never heard your mother say it.
Yeah, and your mom is a murderer, by the way. I mean, she's an attempted murderer. So saying the F word, kids, I mean, you don't know that, not yet, but it's coming.
The little boy wasn't tripping. He was just
no, he was titties.
Right.
It was
a lot of
the girl that
boobs.
Exactly.
She's like, let them fight. I can look at the titties.
But as a parent who has taken my kids have been in the first 5 years of my business, my kids were on almost all of my gigs because I never had a babysitter. You don't bring your kids in a space where other people are nude, where they could feel uncomfortable without addressing that first. That's just trifling.
Mm-hmm.
You would say, hey, I don't have a place for my kids today. Can they come in? And ask if everybody is comfortable, and if they're not, then you would understand. And if there's cursing going on and your kids are freaked out about it, you would tell them, shut your mouth and sit down, because you in grown-ups world right now.
This is an adult space.
Exactly.
Yes. Or you find something for them to do in another room. There was many times.
Well, see, now that's where good writing comes in. That's where good writing comes in.
Mm.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Again.
And there it is.
You're just bringing up my point.
Good writing never came in. Good writing stayed in the parking lot.
But good writing made him. Bad writing made him money. Did you see how much he made for that?
Yeah, he made a lot of money. Yeah.
He made some money writing that script.
Yeah.
Really?
The movie didn't make any money, but
right.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna try to do something impossible here, and see if this movie actually won any awards. Oh my God!
Razzies.
It's what, a Razzie?
I'm seeing. Look, I haven't pressed the button yet, but I'm looking and it says 10 wins, and yeah, they're all Razzies. It looks like.
Yeah.
No.
It swept the Razzies. Yeah.
Yeah, it got worst screen couple. Let me start at the top. Worst picture of the decade.
I don't know about that.
Worst screen couple. Worst picture. These are all Razzies.
Well, who did she not hook up with in the movie?
Razzie. Worst actress.
The black guy, actually.
She didn't hook up with him.
No.
And
even though she got in her feelings when he was fucking somebody else.
Yeah, I really didn't understand her whole point on that.
Right.
We not together. I don't want nothing you got. I'll storm out of your house. I got some good news, so I'm gonna come back to your house and tell you what the good news is.
Right.
Why you with another hoe? I didn't want to be with you, but why are you sleeping with her?
Right.
I'm gonna storm off again.
There's too many. Have you guys ever heard of the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards?
Oh yeah.
I have not.
There's so many of them. I'm not going to go through, but what I will do.
Did they make that just for this?
Huh?
No,
Did they make
no.
that just for this? Oh, okay.
That was in the 80s and early 90s.
Worst supporting actress, Lynn Tucci. Actually, she was one of the better people in the movie. Lynn Tucci played Mama.
Mama.
Okay, y'all. So let's give out a few of our own camp awards.
Okay.
And tonight's category is going to be the Sex Awards.
Alrighty then.
So probably edit in some, James Bond wah wah trumpets or something. Okay. We just that sounds like Seinfeld.
Why aren't you erect?
It sounds like match game music.
Match game music is porn music.
Yes, it is.
Or that music from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah.
All right, y'all. So to start this off, what was the best use of nudity?
There was not.
None. There was no male nudity at all.
All that nudity was ugly.
When the guy, I don't know, when the guy was walking back to in the jacuzzi scene where he was walking towards the jacuzzi, it was like, oh, he has a nice ass. Okay,
yes, I did. Now that I did, I was like, oh, okay. I wonder if that's
he got
Cal
some cake.
McLaughlin's ass. Cause like that's cute.
Doubtful, but it was whoever that was.
Right.
It was he had some nice legs, he had a nice set, which is what I call it. He had a nice set back there. So yeah,
he looked good. He looked good from behind. I mean, he could have ate some more beans and rice, but it was.
Well, it was the 90s.
Yeah, but it's funny, like with so much female nudity in the movie, that the only thing that was like that was the best use of nudity, you thought? Because the rest of it was
I like
so
the private
gratuitous.
dancing show, but you guys are.
What was the deal with the guy and the ice cubes? Like, make your nipples hard. Her nipples were hard already.
Make your nipples hard.
One wasn't.
So
one was sort of
That was just
concave.
like-
I was gonna say one of them was actually kind of inverted. But
She had some lopsided. Her areolas were not in sync.
Legionnaire was looking up.
They were natural.
oh,
There were a lot of natural titties in this movie, though.
But why? I couldn't understand. I guess I should not try to have.
No,
logical
don't. You're
thoughts
trying to
about
logic.
this.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't
Depressing because it was
don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself.
Of the ice makes the nipples harder, makes them stand up.
I know that, but why
I
are you
think she knows
keeping
that.
this audition?
right.
He wants to see
And-
them hard so that
And why is she
these nipples don't
upset?
work for
Because
us.
That's all you do anyway is show your tits. Now you mad because he want to put ice on your tits, but you
Yeah.
would gladly put ice on your own tits. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Then you
Right.
just
Yeah.
burn off, knowing
Right.
if you wanted this freaking job, and then
Yeah.
you gonna cut your eyes at her. Oh, good
I
lord.
mean,
Oh,
Right.
She
good
got
lord.
mad
Why-
when she got called out for her whoreness. That was the issue. Like, she could be a whore and a drug addict, but as soon as they were like, "You're a whore and a drug addict," fuck you, I'm not. Well, that's how whores and drug addicts act, I guess.
You know what I didn't.
he
Why
said
did it
put
look
your
like
fingers in your coochie. He ain't do all that. He said just get your nipples hard.
right? Why did it look like they used a Sharpie to like the makeup that they put on her areolas and her nipples was so red? I'm like, did they use a red Sharpie to do it or
Oh,
something?
yeah. She confronted Andrew. I was like, oh my god, why do her tits look so?
I was hoping that she had put poison on him and he was licking that shit off. I was like,
You know, and I
yes.
kind of thought that
That
at
would
first.
be
I was like, oh, okay,
perfect.
maybe that's what she's doing, but
But no, she's not that smart.
Weren't they painted?
She
Weren't they like painted
them.
for like the show? Yeah, they were like painted like and had like glitter. And,
But it was so red that it looked like something
Yeah.
happened. Like
Yeah.
it looked
She
so
had
unnatural.
mastitis.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the best use of nudity. What was the worst use of nudity?
All of it.
All
the rest of it.
Show, y'all,
Right.
y'all like
Yeah.
Showgirls.
Every time that child took her clothes off, I said, "No, please." And this has nothing to do with being gay. Please put your
And everybody just
clothes
said the
back
title of the movie at
on.
the same time.
right, no man.
I feel like when we actually saw her vagina, I thought that was bad. I was like,
yeah,
ew, like it doesn't like.
not having had a lot of practice seeing them. Was that actually her vagina, or was she just wearing something?
No, that was her. That was her
Yeah.
puss.
that was a
Oh.
hoo-ha.
That was
Okay. It
that was
looked
so-
artificial. It didn't look real.
I was just so sad because there was so much tension built up between our character and Crystal, and yet nothing. Are you
Right.
fucking kidding me?
Right,
They didn't even have a good kiss.
right.
It was just like, I'm gonna keep flirting with you, and you're gonna keep pretending like you're not excited
true.
about it, but you totally were excited about it. This was like your whole thing, and you're gonna fuck the other dude instead of Crystal. That is just wrong. Like, who writes this shit?
a dude. A dude.
Yeah.
You know.
He just came on some paper and used a quill and started writing. That's
Which brings me to my next category. And this is a real category that Papi Chulo created called Anchors Away, the Best Use of Semen Award. And you're saying it was to write this script.
Yeah. It was.
I'm going to say it was the lap dance scene.
She did that whole thing with her head again that she mimicked again in the pool. And which was horrible in a dance.
Was that the like unsexiest sex scene you have ever seen in your life? That was just
it was the best. It was the best.
It looked like somebody threw a boombox into the
right.
And only she got electrocuted.
Right. It's like, girl, nobody has sex like that. That's stupid.
When she was still not, do you guys remember Blade Runner?
Yes.
Remember when they shot Daryl Hannah?
Yes.
Flopping around on the floor. That's what it reminded me of.
That's what she was channeling.
In a press.
I think somebody threw something electrical into the pool. It was not cute. It was, and like,
it just didn't seem like he would come from that either.
No, he would not.
No, because
I would never say it.
Well, no, because she was fucking his belly button, and like her vagina was.
And there's that.
And it's not like he was like inexperienced and not getting any. So like, why would that make him come?
I think because she was supposed to be wild. She's supposed to be like a wild cat. Like, what was that movie that oh God, what's her name? Kitten with the Whip. She's supposed to be sort of like that. And she just turned out to be, she just looked like a ravenous, like, bear cat. It was, what are you doing on his lap, honey?
All bears.
and the underwater blowjob was like, okay. Whatever.
That is also, I mean, to be fair, water sex in general.
It's unsafe.
Is unsafe. 1, 2. It's not. It doesn't feel as good as it seems like it should.
Right. That's why I was like, that's not hot, because all the friction that you would really require for a really good sex session is not going to happen underwater. It just isn't.
Yeah. Unless the pool is full of lube, this is not.
Well, right, and that clearly wasn't.
The lube pool.
I want one of those.
So do I. I was just.
All you people are freaks. Freaks and scallywags.
and we bow to the king of freaks, Derek, our leader. Okay, now here's the fun.
You don't know me like that. You don't know what I do.
Let's get to the fun part and rate this film on a scale from 1 to 10. Let's start with you, Damien.
Oh, okay. I never first. This movie is hard to describe. I don't know that I would say it's the worst movie of the decade, because I did see Steel with Shaquille O'Neal. So,
but
that's fair.
But this movie is definitely entertaining. You can have fun with like a party of people, and it's one of those movies where you have a drinking party. Like, we had a drinking party where we took a shot every time somebody had their tongue out, which is a lot in this movie, by the way.
Yes.
40 minutes in and we were shit-faced. So it's one of those movies, you know what I'm saying, that even as bad as it is, I'm not going to say it's so bad it's good, but I will say it's so bad it's entertaining. It's entertainingly bad. Sort of like trying to watch Rihanna dance. It's like,
wow.
Like this is so bad that I'm entertained by the effort. And I would definitely give it, I don't know, because of the entertainment factor, I would give it 1 star, but because I am known to have gotten shit-faced by this movie, it gets a solid 3. It seemed like a labor of love, and I appreciate it for what it is.
All right. So, Mr. I've seen it 5 times, Mr. Las Vegas himself, Deadly. What do you give it?
It gets a solid 69. Let me tell you why. 6. I'm gonna give it a 6 because it's the acting's whack, the screenplay's whack, all that. But because it's so bad, it's so good, kind of like what Damien's saying. But so it pops up to a 9 because this movie is still showing at the midnight theater. So I mean, come on. I mean, how bad is it if people are still talking about it 22 years later, or whatever the heck? So it's getting a 69.
Well, people still talk about World War II.
Wow.
We still talking about Hitler and shit.
Hey.
Really on the spot.
I have to respect your opinion.
I mean, I gotta mute myself.
At least you're not like Poppy Chulo, and if everyone says it's bad, he says it's bad, even though he loves it. You know.
Oh,
it's a good thing he don't listen to the show. It's okay, he won't hear it. Okay, let's go to Derek.
So, while I am very happy to be taking part in summer camp, I have found myself on Tuesday afternoons sitting there saying the same statement over and over again. What the fuck does he have me watching?
This will not be the last time, trust me.
It right. I know it won't. I know. I have to give it a 1 because it got made and it got shown in the theater.
Oh.
I have seen some bad, entertaining movies. One of my favorite movies in the world is Under the Cherry Moon, which is horrible. Yeah. And I quoted all day long because it tickles me to no end. I cannot find that in this. It's sexist, it's racist. Nobody in it is pretty enough for me for them to take their clothes off.
But it did have a lot of cherry and moon in it.
Womp womp.
I know. All right, Legionnaire. Does this movie stand the test of time?
No.
You know,
there are movies that are bad and they're still, and they can be fun to watch even though that they're bad. This isn't one of those movies. I mean, and I get the cult status of it. I really do, because they really took this movie seriously and thought that it was going to make money. So I get the cult status of it. But I think I would have enjoyed it more had I found at least a couple of characters in this movie that I could like. There was nobody I could like in this movie. I mean, there were characters that were funny. I think Mama was funny. You know, and I think the guy that played the boss of the Cheetah Club, I thought he played his role well, but none of those people were likable.
No.
So I'd have to give it a marshmallow. Because like Derek said, it got made, got shown.
It made it to the theater, baby. That's better than some of them have. So yes.
You know, and I can appreciate the fact that it's found new life as a cult classic playing at midnight cinemas, and God knows it blew up in video sales. So that's, you know, hey, have at it.
That's because a lot of people wanted to see their childhood crush. You know.
Yes.
Maybe it would have been better if they had convinced Mario Lopez to be in one of the little dance scenes.
That might help. I mean, you know, the truth is I can watch Mario Lopez naked. He ain't got to say nothing.
Because Mario is
Mario Lopez with clothes on.
He said,
He ain't gotta
"What's
say
happening,
nothing.
Elizabeth?"
Not a damn
Mario
thing.
Lopez
All
is
right,
one of his
Vanessa.
dimples.
Mm.
Well, so I was the one who groaned last week when we said we were gonna watch this one. And I groaned all the way through the movie. And I was just like, oh my good Lord, why? I did watch this a long time ago, and I literally blocked it out. I felt like I was watching it for the first time again, and it was just that horrible. I am going to have to give it, like, just not even a half a marshmallow, just like a quarter of a marshmallow. Just like the nibbled bit that somebody spit out.
The burnt stick.
That's the burnt stick of the marshmallow. That's all I got for it. They didn't even. If they could have given me just one scene where, Glenn had his whole body out, I could have given it two marshmallows for that. They didn't. They didn't give me any successful body with anybody else. It's just all her long, lanky ass. It's too much. Couldn't do it.
Lord. This movie was not sexy. It just wasn't. It just was not sexy. As you can tell, we've moved on to me now. And I did not find it sexy, but it does have a little bit of entertainment value to me. I have the same, like, I was rewatching it, and I got to a point where I was just like, I need to stop it. I'm like, it's probably almost done anyway, but I just need to stop it. And then I looked, and it was like an hour and 14 minutes. Oh my God.
I understand. I watched it in 2 parts. I said, no, I gotta go to bed, and I'll just get up tomorrow and finish watching it.
It was like, okay, I need to watch a movie in between the movie, like so. But
cleanse your palate.
Yeah,
I had to clean everything, not just my palate. But I will give it 1 because they made it and showed it in the theater. That's going to be a new thing. Thank you, Derek. That's going to be a running. I'll give it 1 marshmallow and half a burnt marshmallow.
A burnt.
And we didn't even talk about Prince being all over the soundtrack, by the way.
I wanted to ask you that. Was that Prince?
Oh my God.
Was that Prince?
Yes, that was Prince.
Yeah, those are Prince songs. Yeah. Some of my favorite Prince songs, too. Yeah.
Mine
get
too.
those?
So I am a huge Prince fan, and I thought, I was like, that sounds like Prince. But no.
Yeah. Those were the Warner Brothers days. Those were
Yeah. That's when he was beefing with Dick Clark and folks.
Yeah, that was the end of it. That was the end of his Warner Brothers days. So he was just throwing them. He was like, here's some songs. Go ahead and make a stupid movie,
Surprised the bat dance didn't show up in Showgirls.
Oh, no.
Did you hear that her apartment number was 319?
Figures.
Like she went up somewhere and they asked what room and she said 319. I was like, oh, y'all not even clever.
Right. There was
song.
Right, but there's so much any subtleties that they try to work in. I was like, don't be trying to give me Easter eggs and shit. This is just too bad for that,
Know me, I'm alone. See, we're clever. No.
All right, y'all. It's time for everyone to report back to their cabins. Your bunk beds are waiting for you. Join us next time for a brand new installment of Summer Camp. Once again, here's one of our campers on our PA system with a few announcements on how you can interact with us via social media.
Thank you for the intro. Binge listen to your favorite Papi Chulo Radio programs by visiting poppychularadio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through iTunes. Just search for Papi Chulo Radio Summer Camp and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PCR Summer Camp. Follow us on Tumblr, summercamp-pcr.tumblr.com. Follow Papi Chulo Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and YouTube at Papi Chulo Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@poppychuloradio.com. Help support Papi Chulo Radio financially by visiting gofundme.com/poppychuloradio. Help support Papi Chulo Radio financially by visiting gofundme.com/poppychuloradio. Are you interested in joining the Papi Chulo Radio team as an on-air personality or blog contributor? Email talent@poppychuloradio.com. Now, back to you, camp counselors.
Thank you. My fellow camp counselors, please wish our campers and the listeners a good night.
Good night. Don't get AIDS and shit.
Remember, campers, there's always someone younger and hungrier coming down the stairs after you.
You pushed her, didn't you?
Good night, campers. I'm going to go get me a hamburger.
Go choke on some brown rice. That's what you can do.
I'm getting me some brown rice and vegetables, y'all.
I love Puppy Chow. Thanks for tuning in. Good night and lights out.